We're at the beginnings of 2025 and the environment is a bit of an unknown. Which way are we going? Because I know what I've seen recently, and that's interest rates going up a little higher. That's despite a little bit of a drop in the Fed rate cut just happened maybe a couple weeks ago as of this recording, but we still generally anticipate that rates will gradually go down. Of course, that's going to be pending on inflation numbers that are yet to come. So if you're watching the news like I have been, and we just now received news about the eggs shortage. So eggs are going anywhere from, depending on where you live in the country, of course, but roughly about $4.55 for a dozen to $9 in California. Can you believe that? $9 for some eggs. And what impact that's going to have on all the products that are made with eggs, which here in our country, that's quite a lot of pastry, baked goods, what have you. So those inflation numbers like that are absolutely going to influence how rates go up and down. So if you're in 2025 and you are still in a place of saying, I'm going to buy in New Jersey, whether it be because I'm relocating from somewhere else or I'm already here and I'm done with renting, I'm going to now dive into where are the most affordable options here in the Garden State. Because if you're looking to save some cash, shave wherever you can to find the most affordable places, we have that list for you. So let's dive in now. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a licensed real estate agent in New Jersey, team leader of the New Jersey Living Group, and host of New Jersey Living, the podcast. On this channel, we endeavor to deliver you 5-star content that is consistent with our 5-star Google ratings. So if you're looking to learn all things New Jersey, of course, real estate, the dining scene, social and entertainment venues, iconic locations, then this is the channel for you. So go ahead and click like, subscribe, notification bell to stay updated on content like this that is coming your way on multiple occasions on a weekly basis. Just as an advance notice, we do tend in our episodes to focus on recent sales in the marketplace. So if you want to get more updated information on what's current right now, definitely take a look at my website. There are links there that you can search by neighborhood, you can search by exact address, you can even set up a search specific to your areas of interest. And unlike Zillow and some of the other online platforms, it will filter out those properties that already have an accepted offer. If you want to contact me directly, that's an option as well. You can always look right here in the details, call me directly. There's also a Calendly link that you can book an appointment for me to give you a call at a time that's convenient for you. And finally, going to flash up a couple QR codes for those that are in the buy process right now. Going to flash up a code just to overview the buying process, give you a little insight on what to expect. Some things you may have already experienced if you're actively in a search, but that information is available to you. Another QR code for those that are relocating here to New Jersey with some detailed information about the Garden State and living here. Homeowners, we have something for you also. If you're looking and you're a homeowner, you're viewing this episode, we have a QR code to get a CMA just so you'll be aware of your value. And we have a QR code if you are cash curious. If you're a homeowner, would like to know what would a cash offer look like on my property, even if you're not looking to sell right now. Doesn't really matter. There's no obligations to any of this. So you'll get an update on that within 48 hours. The topic today is one that is very relevant to anyone looking to purchase a home anywhere in the country right now. But if you live in New Jersey, you realize, one, we are in a state that has some of the highest property taxes of any state in the nation. Normally, we are ranking number 1. And aside from taxes, you're looking at housing costs, which again is steadily rising. There are some markets in the country where there has been a retraction. There's been actually a lowering of prices in the marketplace. New Jersey is not one of those places. We are a relatively small state, geographically speaking. The northern portion of our state and even central is in very close proximity to New York City. A lot of people work there, but don't necessarily live there. So they often live here in New Jersey. And a lot of people who live in New Jersey just get jobs in New York. Either way, there is a concentration of a high population density, both in New York City and the northern portion of New Jersey. South Jersey, there's Philadelphia as well, not nearly as popular. populated, but you get the point. There's a lot of people that lives here, small geographic location. That means housing with people who are looking for housing. There's a degree of scarcity here that drives the market value of both homes and rentals. So we're going to look at the 5 places where you have affordable options and what do I consider as affordable and what location criteria am I looking at? Because if I'm looking at flat prices, where can I buy the least expensive house? Let's be honest, not everyone is looking for those type of locations where they can get a house that is absolutely the rock bottom cheapest. You watch enough movies for some of these type of scenarios, you very well can like look and chuckle, but you get the point. We're looking at places that one criteria was we want something priced under $500,000. So in New Jersey, that is very much a very reasonable purchase price for someone looking to buy a home. So that's criteria number 1, under $500,000. And this is the sale price, not list price, but sale price, under $500,000. Other criteria, we were looking to be within close proximity to New York City. I actually tried to keep things within 50 miles, which 50 is a bit extreme, but I kept it within 50 miles. But I think all of these places are within actually like 35 miles to Manhattan specifically. All right. Second criteria. Third criteria, it's going to be schools. Because again, being honest here, there are locations where you can find very, very price-friendly housing. And often in New Jersey, that goes hand in hand with quality of schools. So if you go with a location that schools are rated D or low C or maybe even F, I don't think I've encountered an F on niche.com yet. So if you've been watching my episodes, you know I use niche.com a lot. But yes, I haven't seen an F, but we're not going to stay, we're going to stay away. We're going to totally stay away from low rated schools. We're going to have locations where schools are no lower than a B-. So B- or better schools, location within roughly 35 miles of Manhattan, price point sold under $500,000. 5 different locations I came up with. Let's dive into the first one right now. Our first location is one that is a location that flies under the radar in a major way. This is a place that is on the rise. It's going to continue to rise, especially when the development is fully in place with the ferry system that I'm going to jump into in just a few seconds. But this is an episode where I have actually filmed on site with a feature of that episode, and it is Carteret, New Jersey. I'm going to flash up the thumbnail for that particular episode. Definitely worthwhile diving in to take a look. Shout out to the mayor and his staff that actually hosted me to come there and learn a little bit more about some things that they have going on right now, what they've been doing, what they yet plan to do. They gave me great treatment for someone who just has a YouTube channel and talks about real estate. So much appreciation to Carteret. So with Carteret, we have this property that sold. This has a closing date at the beginning of December. So from our time of recording right now, that was basically about 30 days ago. And it is 31 Linden Street, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And let's browse through photos here so you'll get an idea. Okay, what is my money going towards? And as you can see, this is almost like one of those ranch Cape Cod hybrids, if you will. And you find a decent number of these in a lot of towns throughout New Jersey. And you can see that this property definitely has some upgrades. It looks like they went with a laminate flooring. The kitchen has had an upgrade. Looks like it wasn't too long ago. There is an upstairs. Upstairs looks like it has probably 2 bedrooms, 1 on each side. And then there is definitely a finished basement. You see an above ground pool in the back, and you see that there is a driveway. So this is very much a comfortable home in a very comfortable community. I talked about Carteret. Why is Carteret on the rise? Carteret has right now a waterfront development that is still being developed and is going to include ferry service to Manhattan. So there's going to be 2 ferries. They're already purchased in the waterfront area that looks really directly over to Staten Island. So you see Staten Island from standing right there on the waterfront in Carteret. That is going to be definitely a draw to the community. And talking to the mayor and his staff, they have even more going on in town. There's a continual redevelopment of the small downtown area because it's a small town. They have the Performing Arts Center, which is really, really nice. It goes under the radar because I really didn't have too much awareness of it at all, quite honestly, until I visited there and got a firsthand look. So it is a really gorgeous facility. They have a lot of events there. Some are community, some are different artists, comedians, and what have you that come throughout the year. And they do have annual cultural festival as well during the summer. It's a place, again, just goes under the radar. Not too many people drive through Carteret, so where it's located, as close as it is to New York City, it is really off the turnpike, and that's it. No other traffic is really going to go through Carteret that often, right? So you're going to end up going there, or you're just not going to see it. So this is a place where, let's look up the median housing price for Carteret, and we have a median household price of $400,000 for that community. So this is above the median, but nonetheless under 500. Keep that in mind. So Carteret is our number one. Let's move on to number two. So our next two stops, both are going to be in Bergen County, believe it or not. Bergen County certainly has that reputation of being a more higher priced county by and large because, one, its proximity to New York City is very close. You take the George Washington Bridge, you're right there. The George Washington Bridge now is going to have even more traffic with congestion tolls, which is additional pricing to drive in Manhattan at 60th Street and South. So a lot of people are going to go to GW route if they have to get into the city and they are in somewhere, a different borough other than Midtown or Lower Manhattan. So Bergen County is right there, right? Very easy, convenient commute to get into the city. First of the two locations for Bergen County, I'm sorry, I almost missed this. The other factor as to why Bergen County tends to have very, very higher price points, schools. Most school systems in the county are very, very high quality, high performing. We're talking A, somewhere in the A ranges, right? So of course, when we're talking about these properties that are bargains, they're not going to be A districts, all right? These are going to be somewhere in that B minus range, but nonetheless, these are going to give you some of those budget prices that you would be looking for. First property is going to be in Elmwood Park. We're going to flash up Elmwood Park really quickly on a map, just so you can see where it is in proximity to the county. So Elmwood Park is towards the more western part of the county. It is bordering right along the Passaic River. It's almost like a suburb to Patterson, quite honestly. So this is, a location that still gives you some of the conveniences of hopping on 80 or getting to even Route 4 to make your trek into the city. You have some neighboring towns that are really notable when it comes to having great school districts, but this one, not so much. Niche rating for Elmwood Park, B- for Elmwood Park. So you get my point. We're going to see more B and B- in this range. Keep in mind what I always mention about New Jersey schools. Public schools are among the highest rated in the country. So we are consistently top 3, 1, 2. I'm not even going to say 3. Normally Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, they're always in those elite level ratings of public schools nationwide. So even though you see a B in New Jersey is not a B in most other places in the country. So our Elmwood Park property is 127 Hamilton Ave. It is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath Cape Cod. You can see that. You see that in various other episodes that I have. A lot of this particular style is in Elmwood Park. You have neighborhoods where you have many of these style homes, many of them very well kept. It's a very relatively quiet community. Homes, you find a lot of them in this particular style. This one you can just browse through, see hardwood floors. You see not really a lot of nuanced updates, but very, very well maintained. Upstairs, you see some of the older style wood paneling with the upstairs bedroom. And that's not uncommon, actually, when you look around enough New Jersey real estate inventory the way I do, and you have a finished basement as well. Nice little deck in the back with an above ground pool. So the pricing on this particular property, it was listed at $462,000. Sale price, it closed in mid-December, $490. So listed at $462, sold at $490, 10 days on the market. Taxes relatively friendly. And I say relative because we're talking New Jersey, $8,500. roughly. All right. So very, very reasonable buy for New Jersey. Second Bergen County location. We are going to the county seat, which is the city of Hackensack. So Hackensack is the county seat of Bergen County. It is definitely the most urban location in the county. The county is mostly suburbs, and then you have Hackensack. So Hackensack, school ratings are not going to be what you find in the surrounding townships. All right. So again, these are reflective of prices. When you look at prices in New Jersey, you look at school ratings, more often than not, they are going hand in hand. Niche.com Hackensack rating, B-. So again, you'll notice a trend. We're floating on that B minus kind of range with a lot of these locations that are more of an affordable option. So you're going to consider, obviously, neighborhood factors, neighborhood dynamics. Urban doesn't mean the entire city of Hackensack is a really densely populated location with, say, like row houses, or there's just that Hackensack has a very diverse mix of smaller homes that are on smaller lots that are in close proximity one to another. It has a good number of co-op and condo inventory, some very nice co-ops, quite honestly, in Hackensack. And then there are beautiful neighborhoods where you find the large, historic, beautiful homes, large lots, very quiet sections of the community. So there is definitely a mix in Hackensack. It's not all one story that you're going to paint with one broad stroke by any means. But school performance is not going to be on a level of what you find in most of Bergen County. So the property in Hackensack that we're going to feature is 31 Vanderbeck Place, and it was listed at $479,999, so $480 basically, and it sold at $485, 20 days on the market, taxes $7,500. And looking at the photos here, let me just get the bedroom and baths again. 3 bedrooms and bath and a half. And this particular property, you can see lot size, while it's not a huge lot by any means, there have been recent upgrades done to the property. All right, so you can tell with the flooring, you can tell with the lighting, kitchen, the bath, the basement, albeit not fully finished. There's sheetrock and molding. It's just a matter of someone deciding to do floors. But this is definitely a turnkey, move-in ready kind of opportunity that, again, is under 500, 3 bed, bath and a half, very much reasonable in terms of taxes. So we can see that even though Bergen County is one of the more higher demand locations in New Jersey, there are some spots where you can find a relative bargain buy by New Jersey standards. Now off to our 4th location, and this location is going to be the furthest that we have from Manhattan. We actually are going a bit west of 287, which puts us out towards the direction of Butler, which, if you're familiar with northern New Jersey, that is a little bit further out when we're talking about distance to the city. But what we see is there is opportunity in locations like Bloomingdale, not to be confused with Bloomfield. Bloomingdale, different location, totally different kind of vibe. Client that I had that bought in Bloomingdale, this is going back a couple years, but it was one of those locations that had just a magnificent view. The house, Bloomingdale starts to get a bit hilly. We are getting out towards the west. You're working your way to Pennsylvania, so you find more rolling hills, more places that have like ravines and valleys, homes that are up on these hills that give you a view over a valley, give you a view of the far off hills. Is really, really spectacular. So that is something I find very favorable. If you've seen my recent episode on New Jersey being unbearable, you are having more likely encounters with bears in this particular section of the state, but not as though you have to, have your head on a swivel per se when you're driving at home at night to go into, you're not going to be jumped by a bear just by living in the area where a lot of bears tend to cohabitate. But that's just a location that you'll find, that's relevant to that particular episode. So let's take a look. We're going to take a look at 50 Star Lake Road. And this is our Bloomingdale property, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and it is a ranch style dwelling. It was listed at $469,900, basically $470, sold at $490 with a total of 15 days on the market. This sale was a little bit further back. This was in early November for this particular sale. Now, looking through the photos on this. This is kind of typical of what you find in a lot of properties in Bloomingdale. You have a ranch style dwelling, and in this case you can see the hardwood floors, really good condition, a bright area, more open concept in the dining space that leads over into the kitchen certainly upgraded. Then you walk out to, eventually you're going to walk out to a deck. Again, look at the kitchen is very recently done. I can see that there's baseboard heating, and take note also, this is something that as a realtor you pick up and as you view a lot of homes with different styles of both heating and cooling. Although you see baseboard, that does not mean that the home does not have central air. You just look in the vents at the ceiling in one of the bedrooms, you can see that there's a vent there. This home, although it has baseboard heating, it has central air. All right, so finished basement. Now here is the real perk about these homes that you find a lot of these style homes with ranches in Bloomfield. You have a basement that is a walkout. So it walks out, and you have that kitchen down there as well. So that's another feature. You often have a second living space in the basement level where you have any number of rooms or spaces that you can set up additional bedrooms. So even though this one says 2 bedrooms, I'm not sure if they deliberately left out the bedrooms in the basement level, because it appears to be at least 1, if not 2 basement level bedrooms. Then you have the deck that also drops down to the ground level where there is a patio. Then you have then your grass area in the backyard. So you see this type of setup quite frequently. That's quite a good sized yard there. Pretty decent. So I'm gonna take a quick close look at the floor plan, and the floor plan, it appears as though they have 1 bedroom showing on the basement level, and then they have 2 bedrooms up on the main level. Okay, so they didn't include it in the listing count of bedrooms, but yeah, there's definitely bedrooms on both levels of this. So this is a really good amount of living space that is coming at a price of $490, right? And this is, as you can see, this is all relatively upgraded amenities throughout the house. Driveway and a 1-car garage. So Bloomingdale, again, if you're comfortable being a little further out, but what further out gives you, it gives you quiet, gives you a lot of green, maybe a few bears, but gives you also some potential great views, if not from the house. Some of the localities, local green spaces around that area will give you just that. So Bloomfield makes the cut as in our top 5 as most affordable. We're going to get to now our number 1, our 5th one, which I would absolutely endorse wholeheartedly. You've heard this one before. Drum roll, please. Union, New Jersey. So this is Union Township, not to be confused with Union City or the other township of Union that is further more south central Jersey. This is Union that is neighboring to Elizabeth and with Maplewood, very, very much close proximity to New York City. So of the locations that we're considering, Union certainly has the highest of the school ratings. It is a B school ratings. There are elementaries in town that are very, very highly regarded. So there is really not a dynamic for Union where people want to avoid because of schools, but it is certainly a location where many people love because of the proximity. It is very much a middle of the road kind of market, not a lot of really high end inventory. So you're not finding many $1 million plus properties on the market. There are some, but there's not many in Union. But at the same time, you don't have a real low floor when it comes to housing. There's not areas that are extremely distressed and just really looking for revitalization of some kind. That's not present really in Union at all. So Union, although it's neighboring to some of those kind of towns or towns that have some of those areas, Union itself really doesn't. So let's take a look at the property that we have for Union. This is 332 Newark Ave, and this is a split level home, 3 bedrooms, bath and a half. I'd be interested in knowing the story on this one. It closed right at the end of December, just before the new year. Original list price was at $539, and then it was dropped to $499. So given that the list date was November the 5th, probably you had some motivated sellers, or maybe they just wanted to experiment to see how high they could price and still get offers. But the price was dropped under 500, which can be a very strategic type of position to take as a seller when you consider if your house is right on the margin of selling maybe in the high 4s, but you really hope the high 5s, right? If you put it right at $499, the market will tell the story. The market will tell you the level of demand, whether that demand is in fact just high 4, or if that demand is going to say, hey, look, a lot of people really like this house, and it's going to get up to 5, maybe 25, maybe even 550, right? So maybe the 539 pricing was with that kind of thought in mind. Maybe we can get to 550, but it went down to 499, sold lower at 483. So this one, let's take a look at some of the photos here. We say again, 3-bedroom, bath and a half. Our interior on this one, even the exterior, you can see that there are, a few TLC kind of items there, but interior, it is not updated, but looks well maintained. Right? So this kind of presents a situation where a buyer walks in. Will they be absolutely wowed by what they see? Not necessarily, but what they're looking for is neighborhood, location. They're looking for convenience. They're looking for how much work still has to go in. So when we look at the exterior again, you can see fascia boards, or the vinyl that was covering the fascia. Looks like it's maybe it's come off. It looks like there may be a little bit of wood rot there as well. Things that are, again, not end of the world, not major structural by any means. But then you see the roof line as well. Definitely an older roof, older garage door. So there are some dynamics that still need some love and touch, which is why we find price point wise a 483 when we had a 499 list price, and taxes just under 10,000, 9,729. So Union, what I love about Union is some of the things I already mentioned. There's not a real low floor, ceiling's not super high, but you've got a very, very solid working in a middle class community that's there. You are in close proximity to the city, Kane University. That, again, I'll flash up just a quick clip from my Union YouTube episode. You can see that there is both the train station right at Kane University. There is massive development on Kane University alone and that surrounding area. It is really a place that has solid value. Schools are solid. Close proximity to the city, train is there, checks a lot of boxes. And if you can find a property like this that has the bones, has the neighborhood, has the location, you could have yourself a long-term gem if you put a little sweat equity into it. So that is the top 5 for most affordable. I'm gonna give you a couple that made honorable mention that we didn't dive into this particular episode. We have Pompton Lakes, we have Rahway, we have Little Ferry, we have Bayonne, and we have Sayreville. So again, these are some locations. Bogota also, all right? We have some locations that also are close proximity to the top 5 that we mentioned, but definitely drop in some thoughts. Give me some of your own recommendations. Give me some of the experiences that you may have had in your journey. So by all means, if you are someone who is looking to find a property, find a bargain, again, my Calendly link is right here. Definitely look me up or just drop me a text directly. You have QR codes, flash both of those up for our buyers. So for relocation as well as buyer's guide. Homeowners, we're flashing your QR codes up as well. CMA and Cash Curious, we have a means for you to get a cash offer just to see what it will look like on your property. Maybe it's something you want to entertain, and maybe you're that homeowner that inherited property and it is a bit distressed or something that you're not looking to maintain. Definitely in that case, reach out to me to see what someone can give you cash today for that particular property. Before we go, be sure again to click like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay updated on more of this content that is coming your way. Thank you for joining. Stay safe and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.